Oh. That's freaking flex, bro. Check this out.
On today's episode, we have almost dying off a cliff, almost getting mauled by bears.
We're doing an intro?
Almost, yeah.
Okay.
Almost getting my shoulder torn off to threads.
We got to make it more exciting than that. Falling off cliffs, getting eaten by bears.
Eating by bears. Eating bears.
Run over by a semi-truck.
Bear steals gun, shoots us.
Robbing the gas station.
Robbing every gas station we go to.
Mobbing the libtard, the mountain hippies.
Running all the bicyclists over with our motorcycles.
Making little girls pee.
And that one was real. That
one was for you. She's like, I'm going to listen to this episode about the trip.
Well, she can also watch our videos that are going to come out at some indeterminate time. That'll be better.
Listen to the pod.
The pod is going to be not as good of a description of the thing as the video is going to be.
No,
but
yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
I'll be on the road.
I'll start off with, I got these Beer Fest variety packs from Sam Adams.
And that's a Munchin Gunkle.
And what did you say it was? Yeah, you said it was a Munchin Gunkle, and it says Munich Dunkel. Oh, it does kind of say...
Munchin Dunkle.
It kind of does say a weird thing. I thought you were just saying, like, it's super wrong, but it's kind of already weird. Which one do you want?
I'll definitely try a Flannel Fest. I'll try the Munchin Dunkle.
The Munchin Dunkle first?
Thank you. Oh, I think I want to return this one.
Okay. Oh, because it's a little botched?
Yeah.
Do you
I want a not one. I want one with a good sticker. No. I still want the Munchin Dunkle.
Oh, you just don't like that it has the little tear on it?
There we go.
That's funny. I'll take the torn up one. It's not a twist
I won't drink that. It's not a twist off?
Nope.
You're going to have to help me out. You're going to have to help me out with my knife.
Every once in a while, I carry a pocket knife every single day. Every once in a while, I can't find my knife, and so I just go to the basket in the kitchen. Before I leave, I'm like patting myself down. I'm like, I don't have my knife, and I'll like do a lap or two around the house looking for it. And once I've done like 3 laps around the house, I just grab yours and leave.
I always put my work knives in the basket when I get home.
And I take them, and I'll carry it probably for a week, and then I'll happen upon my knife.
Well, they're community knives because they're not super great.
I take the cheap one every time. I don't take the nice one. I saw your buck.
I looked that one up, and it's pretty pricey actually.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like $70.
No way.
Yeah.
It works nice. I like using it.
Yeah, it works, dude. It's great.
Dang.
So it's actually the Munchin Dunkle is pretty good.
That is good.
Makes me want to put on a flannel fest.
And what we're talking about, in the intro there, which kind of might be confusing if you don't know what we're talking about. We took our dirt bikes across the great state of North Carolina, dipped into South Carolina, and then shot north into the mountains and drove straight off of a cliff.
It all started in the beginning. Last week, I was like, I want to go camping because it's the perfect camping weather. And so I texted you and asked you if you want to go on a ride to... Did I even say where?
You said, how you feel about going to Pig Saw next weekend on the ADVs. And I said, I like. And that was the whole conversation.
That was it. And from that spawned an adventure.
An entire adventure started from those 7 words. Or I can't really count that well.
Pig Saw. I did think it was Pig Saw.
I thought it was Pig Saw too. It's Pisgah.
Pisgah.
Which is a weird word to call a mountain. Not a park. Or it's a forest, I think. It's a national forest.
Yeah.
Pisgah. And there's Pisgah Mountain. That's why it's called the Pisgah National Forest.
I don't like it. I like Pig Saw.
Yeah. And so we knew like kind of like the area we wanted to get to, which is really close to Asheville, North Carolina, which everybody knows. Also, Asheville's extremely overrated, and it's kind of a disgrace to our state. But
the only thing they got going for them, really, is the hot chicken.
The hot chicken is so exquisite.
It's so exquisite. But it's only one spot, and it's Rocky's Hot Chicken.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that would like be in a little nook of Asheville. You'd think a hot chicken place would be like Tennessee.
Yeah.
Or further towards the I don't know, not in the mount. Like what is with the
right in
chicken?
the mountains? There's
right, yeah.
delicious chicken spots. So good. We go there so often. It's funny how many times we've been there together just because we passed by accident. That's happened.
I know, yeah.
Like who? Why? You don't pass through freaking Asheville that often, and we've passed through Asheville at least like 3 times.
At least.
And so every time, one of us will be like,
we together
we're
have been
close
at
to
Rockies probably 6 or 7 times.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And we never have planned that.
And it's 4 hours away.
It's 4 hours from here. It's 6 hours on dirt bikes, apparently. Holy crap. I am sore.
Yeah, my hand's not doing well.
Your right hand?
Well, it's both of them.
Really?
It's just like from the slight grab for like 19 hours of
Dude,
riding.
we rode for... Was it 19 hours?
It was 11 plus like 6.
That's...
Not 19. It was close, so.
How many hours? That's... I can't think of it, but that's a lot of hours.
Wait, it was more than 6, though, because...
It was, because we left at like 8:30, and we didn't get home until like 5:30.
Yeah. Yeah, we rode for a really long time. It wasn't riding the whole time, but most of the time. But yeah,
that's 8.5. That's 8.5.
Carpool tunnel. Pulling into the carpool.
That's 19 hours. That's
more than I thought.
I'm getting 20 hours in my addition, but my addition is not good. Look, what I'm saying is we rode 11 hours on Saturday morning. We woke up on Saturday, 5 a.m., just setting off to Gaffney, South Carolina, just because that's like a good place to start the ride. So kind of like the way I was conceptualizing it in my head is we're going to go there and then start our adventure. And the adventure started at 5 a.m.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to start like at like noon when we got there. It wasn't noon when we got there. It was like 1:30, which is a lot later than noon when you started at 6:30. And we go to the Ingalls and we get our freaking lunch.
Well, yeah, we get our lunch from an autistic guy.
Yeah.
First, I don't know. I don't know if it was his first day on the job.
It might have been his first.
Because he didn't look full A.
Yeah.
Full AU. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's after we were frozen and we went into the Bojangles. Yeah. Got freaking
whenever
Bo-rounds.
we're on a trip together too, it's like Rockies or Bojangles, and I despise Bojangles.
Hate Bojangles. We always end up there.
And we are always there. We were in the Wendy's parking lot, and we were walking into the Wendy's, and it was just like their dine-in was closed. I was like, and the only other restaurant around is Bojangles.
We look around and we see Bojangles, and I see you just like...
By the way, good breakfast.
Yeah, very good coffee.
They got a gold star for the breakfast menu.
Yeah.
And that was like the workers there were very friendly too.
They were very nice, and all the customers were really excited to be at Bojangles. That one guy was like
so excited,
telling you all about all the objects you could buy, and he was all big. You could tell he knew what he was talking about.
Oh,
and he was so excited to be at Bojangles. Like he was reading the menu probably for the like 75th time.
He told us the exact size of the bow round. I was like, "What the frick is a bow round?"
Yeah, you said that to me.
He's like a hash brown about yay big.
Yeah,
about yay big.
You said that to me, and I was like, "They're the little hash browns," and from behind me, I just hear, "They're not little.
They're not little.
They're about yay big.
Bigger than Chick-fil-A, bigger than Burger King." It's like Burger King.
He's like, "You're thinking about Burger King," and I'm like, "First of all, I never had Burger King hash browns.
Yeah.
I didn't know Burger King had hash browns. I honestly didn't know Burger King was still a thing.
I know.
I haven't been there since I was like 7." But
the way you feel about Burger King is the way I feel about Bojangles.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I feel the same way about Burger King. I haven't been to Burger King in a long time.
Yeah, Burger King's weird. But we got our coffee and stuff started to heat up because the weather said it was going to be super warm.
Oh, the weatherman lied once again.
Yeah, you had your weather app out and it said like sunny and really
like
warm.
64 and sunny.
And it was cold
it was
and
like
cloudy
50
and misting.
rainy. Yeah. Yeah, that was what was that? That was probably a couple hours into the
It was
morning.
a couple hours in, and that's when, because I have to hold my throttle open, obviously, to keep going. And the spring that closes the throttle on that bike is so strong. Like, it wants that throttle closed. So you're just pulling that open all while holding your head forward into the wind and pulling your body forward into the wind for 2 hours. It was starting to burn my shoulder, like really burn. And so I like zip tied up a little like a little jerry rig to keep my throttle from opening up, and that actually worked really well. But
that's a good isometric exercise.
Oh,
you just
my
sit in the
gosh.
same spot, like fighting some force for hours.
And the wind at 65 miles an hour, it's not bad for 10 minutes. Past 10 minutes with no windshield, it's already you start
didn't
to
have
feel
a windshield. I had a pretty nice windshield.
Yeah.
My windshield though, it was doing the thing where
it's buffeting your head around.
My head was flying around the whole time. So my neck was a little sore this morning, but not bad. Not bad at all.
No, my back, like, there's like one of the muscles feels like it hurts to touch it. And it's like been twitching today.
Did you go on Facebook Marketplace today?
I was all over Facebook Marketplace today.
What were you looking at?
I was looking at motorcycles.
I immediately went to Facebook this morning, was just looking up like the KTM adventure bikes.
Really? Really?
Yeah, I was just seeing what they were priced at, just for curiosity, because we saw so many adventure riders just look like so comfortable,
so comfy,
passing us, and they're just like, "Hey, and I'm going to adventure,"
and we're like,
"Yeah."
I'm like holding on for dear life, my arms cramping up. Your head is.
Hey, and by the way, anyone who does a ride like that, probably not that many people. The person who probably does a ride like that is probably going to be with us. Next time, let's do a little bit more planning on the route.
Yeah.
That was probably my fault, but...
I mean, not really, because we never really came up with the exact route. We just kind of had an idea of it. And I don't think we thought that was a big deal. But it kind of starts to become a big deal when you're like... It really wasn't that big of a deal, but we just had to stop a lot and like keep planning on the fly.
That app tricked me. I got this off-road app to show me where the off-road trails were, and that's where the Transamerica Trail kind of loops right through the Gaffney, South Carolina, and goes up into the Pisgah, and then goes west out towards the Dragon and everything out there. And they were saying they were marking all the roads that we were riding on as trails.
Yeah, and they were not trails. They were streets.
Yeah, they were just streets and roads and like freaking highways. And I was like studying it, and I would like zoom in on the GPS, and it would look like a trail.
Yeah.
But we never found like those trails.
Yeah.
So I gotta do better like planning for that next time. But other than that, whatever.
Yeah, and then my planning that I did poorly, that you did well, is actually bringing camping gear. And that was bad. I didn't bring. All I brought was a tent. The only camping gear I brought was a tent, and I thought that was gonna be fun.
When I saw your bike when we were leaving, I was like, that doesn't look like that much gear. Like I have just enough gear to camp comfortably.
Yeah,
and I had a whole extra bag than you, and it was like stuffed. Yeah. And I was like, you had this tiny little duffel bag, and then something on the outside of it, your hat, and then the box.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, I brought,
and then you had only food in the box, and like a towel.
I had enough food, and I brought a towel because I was like, I might need some extra cloth for something, one thing when I'm out there in the wilderness. The thing is, I've camped before, but not without a bunch of other people, like so many people, and we always camp in quotes in our backyard. So we just take a trailer and just bring all the stuff from the house down to the camp. So we bring all our blankets from the house and stuff. So I'm always used to not just all I have to pack is my tent. And I learned, and I've been researching today camping gear, that I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get one of those little inflatable pads that fills the whole bottom of my.
I was trying to find like my bag on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I realized it has a spot for a foam pad because the inflatable one you can try mine and see if you like it. At first I'm a side sleeper.
I am too,
and it's terrible for side sleeping.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just like rolls you over.
Yeah.
That's why I woke up every once in a while because I would like turn and then it would be like I would like either fall off or whatever of it. But I think I've been invested in some foam.
My night was crazy. I woke up like every maybe hour or two just in pain from wherever my body was touching the ground because I started.
Yeah, Tyler's just in his tent with his clothes on, just in the tent. There's nothing under him or on him.
I was in an empty tent.
No pillow.
Well, what I did is I took my. Well, I was going to pack a pillow, and it was a logistical error that I didn't pack the pillow. I thought it was in my closet at the house. It was actually at my parents' house. When I grabbed my tent, I should have also grabbed my pillows. Didn't know they were there. I thought they were. I have like the little camping pillows that stuff into a little bag. It's ridiculous, but yeah. So I had my pants on, my socks on, 2 t-shirts, and then I had my sweatshirt. And then I put the towel I folded up and made a pillow out of. And then I put my rain pants on over my pants to keep like some thermal layer, you know? And then I draped my I kind of like balled up my rain jacket and put that under the towel for like a little extra pillow bolstering. And then I draped my motorcycle jacket over my body for warmth.
Oh my god.
And it was really nice for like 4 minutes. And then it started, I just like, the ground is really hard. So
and we were on like the softest camping ground.
The perfect
it was
camping
like
ground.
this old leaves patch. Oh my god, I can't believe you didn't bring anything.
And then so I got my I woke up like 2 hours later and my like shoulder blades were sore from just being like on the ground, because it's just like my ass and my shoulder blades and my head are touching the ground. and so I put my motorcycle jacket, took it off, and put it on because it's got back pads in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is a sleeping pad, and it was good, but it's like tight on my arms. So when I like coil my arms up for sleep, they started to go really numb. So I'd wake up a lot with numb.
It was probably awesome when you woke up and it was like pretty dewy on the tent, just like in the dew, writhing around.
I was just writhing the dew. I have to say it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be when I realized, like, when I got in bed and I realized, like, oh, I really don't have anything. I thought it wasn't going to be that bad at all. I was like, oh, all I need to do is like bundle up a little bit more. And I like imagined myself so cozy, all bundled up. And I didn't realize that, like, if you don't put anything over your body, you don't feel bundled at all.
Yeah, you need if it's below 70 degrees at night, you need a banky or something, at least something. Oh my, I can't believe it. I keep running into these situations where we go camping and nobody brings anything.
I don't bring anything to camp. I need to bring all I need is a pillow, a pad, and a blanket. And that would have completely sorted my
100%
camping gear that I needed.
Yeah, because you have that's what I had: my tent, my pad, my pillow, and my quilt.
Yep.
And my quilt.
Oh, and I need to get a cup of some sort. I need to be able to bring more water.
Oh, you didn't have your foldable cup?
No, your foldable cup is cool. I like the foldable cup. I like the utensil, the long utensil, and like a bowl would be good. Like a foldable bowl or maybe just a pot. And then a what else did I want? Oh, I wanted a good way to bring like a lot of water.
Yep.
Like a gallon. I want to be able to put a gallon on the bike.
Yeah, that'd be good. I planned on camping near a stream because I thought we were in the freaking mountains, but we picked a spot where there was no stream available, so my water filtration system was not gonna work if there's no water. So
No, because we
just ran out of water.
once we finally we had ridden through all these like really awesome mountain roads, and we finally come up to like the Pisgah National Forest, and it turns into these like really cool gravel roads that the bikes don't really handle that well, but they were cool.
I was deep
having
gravel.
Fun. It was super deep
It was
gravel.
super deep. It was like they just laid like a new
like
layer.
4 inches of gravel.
Yeah, it was too much gravel. But anyway.
So we had like some fun on that, and we found this really cool tunnel under the Blue Ridge Parkway that we were kind of hanging out at for a while.
That was actually really funny when we got to the top of the gravel incline, and then we were like taking pictures of this tunnel, and then I looked on my phone. I was like, that's the Blue Ridge Parkway, like the most famous road in North Carolina.
We're just under it.
Which was funny.
But then we're like, we had to find a place to sleep, and the only campsites we've seen are like the ones right off the main trails.
Yeah, like they're the hippie sites where all like the Subaru people like just pull off the road a little bit, set up camp.
Yep.
It's like where the rangers check your nature badge or whatever that you need to camp out there. It's like we're not doing that crap.
No.
Paving our own freaking cave, baby.
Yeah, so we find this like offshoot trail that it looks all overgrown and kind of weird, and it's not marked. We just like start going up that, and eventually it starts to turn into this where like it's like you're driving up a mountain sideways, so it's carved. This trail is carved into the side of a mountain. To your right, you see a really, really steep drop, and if you look left, you're looking straight up a mountain. And there's just this little thing.
It's just like a little ridge.
It's a ridge you're riding up, and there's a tree down. Like we go a couple turns, maybe a couple 100 feet, and then all of a sudden we come up along this really big tree.
Really big
fallen.
tree, which we know why the trail was overgrown is because no one wants to go up around that tree.
No, you can't really get around that tree easily. But
only if you're walking.
If you're walking, you could get around the tree pretty easily. Yeah. You could pretty much walk under it. I know because I figured out that if I slow motion crashed my motorcycle under the tree and just was like doing burnouts trying to get some traction, I could slowly painfully inch my way under
that was
the tree.
Craziest thing. I thought you knew what you were doing the whole time.
No, I didn't.
And then you just kind of stopped moving.
I got stuck.
You were stuck under the tree, under your bike, and I was like, what's going on? Because it was laying across the ridge on like a 45-degree angle, and there's this little gap.
It's like a triangle gap.
Gap that he was trying to puzzle piece his gigantic motorcycle through. And he's just under it. And it was the funniest thing to watch because you're like inching it really, really slow.
It was starting to work. In the beginning, it was working
like you
well.
Got tired or something. Just
I stopped being able to push the bike. It was 11 hours into riding.
Yeah, it was long.
And I didn't realize that meant that like my arms were not going to really do anything anymore, and my legs either. And so once I got really like pinched between the embankment and the bike, I was stuck. I was just completely stuck. And I kind of was shutting down mentally, I think, because I wasn't really doing anything or planning my escape. I was probably going to just sleep there if I had to.
Weak mental, right?
And then you started like pushing my bike, and I started to be able to move again. And so I just started going again. And eventually, like, you kind of pushed the bike out from under the tree, and I just was back up, and I was like, all right, cool. And
awesome.
So I just started riding. You're like, I'm going to chop this other side of the tree.
Yeah, I brought my freaking axe, baby.
And so you wanted to get over the tree right at the edge of the cliff.
Right at the edge, because it was like 45ing, had a little gap, and then it hit the end of the ridge as it was falling down. But it was a big freaking tree.
It was a huge tree.
So I was like, I don't feel comfortable just like popping up over this tree. I would have for sure, it would have been over.
Yeah.
If I would have just tried that. And so you got through and just kept going. I was like, okay. I got out the axe and I just started freaking axing.
Yeah, you were chopping at the area where, like, the only possible place between certain death and way too tall where you could have possibly gotten over the tree, and you're just chopping it a little bit by a little bit, trying to make it lower so your bike can clear it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, if he's chopping, I'll go up and see if it's even worth it up here, like if there's a campsite or what it turns into. So I'm driving up and I find like a spot. And I'm like, this could be good. And I keep going and I'm like, this is it. This is our spot.
Yep.
I saw it and I was like, this is for sure our spot. So I come back down. I'm like, we got a good spot up there. You're pretty much done doing some chopping. And just you try and get your bike over, just bottoms out so bad.
Bottoms out so hard.
So we're like standing next to the cliff trying to like lift the bike over a tree while not throwing it off the cliff.
Yeah, it's brutal, especially with those tires.
Yeah.
Like trying to get any tread to pop wheels over stuff. You're just like on edge. You don't know if it's going to do it or not.
Your tires were way worse than mine too. And mine were not great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just super sketchy. Anything like,
yeah.
And it was all root. Like it was tree and root that we were going over, which is just unbelievably
really slippery.
It's so slippery.
So eventually we like combined, we kind of like lift the bike over the tree. So we get yours over and mine under. Both were horrible to watch. And so we're like, all right, I know where the campsite is. We're all good. Yep. You go ahead, because I have my GoPro. I wanted to like record you. And in my head, I thought, in case he falls, I want to get it on film.
but in my mind, I was like, it's all safety from here. He's already done it.
Yeah.
You've already been up there.
I've already been up there,
so I just started trucking.
Yeah. So I watched you like go over this route and like almost fly off the edge. And I'm like, oh.
Saved.
And then I get over the route fine. And I'm like, that was crazy. And then I drive off the edge of the cliff. Just like
he just turns
for no reason.
He just turns his wheel towards sudden death. It just goes off.
I didn't know what happened. I went back and watched the video. I just drove off the cliff.
Yeah, we were like, you bounced off. You like hit the root weird. And you bounced off, but you didn't bounce. You got over fine, and then you just drove off.
And I got chucked off the bike. I hit my shoulder so hard on the ground, I felt like my whole spine shift. And then I like hard enough that I was like, I did the collarbone check thing. Yeah, and I was like, fine. And I
freaking get up to the campsite.
Yeah, you went up and found the campsite.
I get up to the campsite and look back, and you're not there. I see nothing, which the route is in range of sight from the campsite.
Yeah,
like I could
you should have been able to see me.
Yeah, and you were just not there, and I was like, oh no. So I kicked the stand down, friggin' ran up there, and you were like, the bike was just like sliding down.
The bike was like almost all the way off the cliff. I think that the foot peg dug into the ground last minute and prevented it from going down anymore. And I'm just like kind of standing up like dazed and confused. And then we just pull the bike back up, get to the campsite, and I'm just like, my heart's beating fast. I got adrenaline. I thought I was going to drop the bike off the cliff. And if I had dropped the bike off that cliff, there was going to be no more
There might have been no more bike. More than likely.
The only way we could have done it is if you had ridden to some hardware store and gotten like a series of pulleys and ropes and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we would have had to do, because I don't even know if I could walk up that. It was so steep.
It was
the side of a mountain.
Now that I think about it, the trail where we went onto that side trail was we went up a little bit, but then that cliff was like on the other side where that trail was not. So I was like thinking, like, if you rode down the cliff, you would end up on the gravel road.
No, it goes down to like.
But you wouldn't have.
No, I think it probably went down to like.
It went down to those rocks.
The rocks. Yeah. It goes down to like a rock crack.
Yeah. Crack rock.
Crack rock.
There's a bunch of crackheads down there.
I believe it. So it just was like, it was imperative that we didn't fall off the cliff, and I nearly drove off the cliff.
Yeah, it was imperative. We were taking very, very heavy steps to not go off the cliff, and we just had one drive off.
Yeah.
But then I also kind of drove off.
You drove off the cliff too. I didn't catch that one on video because
I was just like slowly maneuvering, and then I got to the edge, and I was just like thinking about what I should do, and then the dirt just like slowly took the wheel down.
I watched it in my mirror. I watched you just go down, and then I saw you're like stand up a little bit, and you were still up there, and I was like, yes, he didn't fall off the cliff either. He just almost did. It was the same thing. Your bike was like hanging off the cliff.
Yeah.
And I was like,
man, those bikes are not super light.
No.
Get back up.
They're very heavy to lift up. And then, we set up the camp, and we get a fire going like right before night.
Yeah.
Right before the dark falls on the mountain.
We got it we timed it perfectly.
And we were far enough away from not only like all that adventuring into the national forest is one thing. You're already away from people a decent bit. And then we went all the way up onto like the back side and up around this mountain where there's like a mountain in between us and every
other
else.
hippie
on
the mountain.
So we're on like the back side of this mountain where there's no people.
And we had crazy like tree coverage.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't see us from anywhere.
No.
If you were in an aircraft or whatever, you couldn't see us.
No. There was like one little spot you could see one star.
Yeah. You could see the moon kind of poking through.
A little bit. It was a very... Yeah, now I was glad that we got past that tree because I was like, we're not going to have to deal with the park rangers because at one time we got freaking ticketed by the park rangers. I got a bad taste in my mouth from them.
I hate them. Hate them. Yeah, I think I had a total of like 45 minutes of axe time.
You axed for so long. Because the next morning we wake up and we just had like... We just kind of started eating a little bit and made some little instant coffees and stuff. And we got, I decided I was going to walk back down to the tree just to kind of scope it out in the morning and see like what we had to deal with again. And I was like, okay. I saw where I had my little accident. Like you could see like dirt was falling down the mountain there. And then I hear just like something scampering around in the woods like pretty loud, and I look up and like 200 feet away is a baby black bear running away from me, and I'm like, I feel like a spike of like adrenaline and anxiety in my chest, and I'm like my eyes dilate, and I'm like scanning the perimeter, and I'm like holding my pistol, and I'm like, where's the mom?
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
The mom is close.
I was like walking back to the campsite and like checking over my shoulder, and that was crazy. I was glad I didn't see that the night before. I was glad we weren't sleeping.
Yeah, that would have
like,
been psycho. They were for sure watching us.
Oh,
they were watching us all night. Watching us all night doing fire stuff and doing other stuff. Yeah, that I have this little bear booklet. They're like, if you see a cub, run away because the mom is around
and she's mad. And it literally, you were reading it out loud, and it literally said, if you see a bear cub, find a new spot to camp.
Yeah, we were right there in it,
and we had camped there all night.
Yeah, which is spooky. We didn't end up seeing the mom, but I don't think they're overly like like they won't pursue you. Apparently that's like an oddity.
Yeah.
But
it's only if you kind of come if you walk up on them too hard.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think like they were probably for sure knew we were there, which is such a weird thing to think about because there's so many animals in there, and we didn't see any of them, which means they all saw us.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't see us, we would have seen them.
Yeah, they were just watching us. Did you hear the owls? Not this morning, yesterday morning? Like, oh.
Yeah, I think I did, yeah.
It was such an owl sound. It was really
cool.
The
issue with me is that I was in that weird uncomfortable state, and I kept dreaming of situations where like I felt like I would wake up in my tent and then something would happen outside. And that was actually a dream, though. Like, I was dreaming that I was waking up in my tent.
Bizarre dreams.
Like, I saw I thought I woke up in the middle of the night and saw like the whole tent start to light up with like kind of a dim light, and I heard a 4-stroke like 4-wheeler just roll by the tents. And then like that didn't happen.
No, it didn't. There's no way a 4-wheeler could get there.
Yeah, first of all, it couldn't have gotten there, and second of all, I sure would have like investigated more. But that's something that I woke up in the morning and I was like, that 4-wheeler didn't go by, did it? And you were like, what? No. I was like, okay.
It's crazy that nothing on 4 wheels could have made it to where we were at.
No.
0.
No, and the park rangers won't walk.
No, they won't. If their Ford Ranger doesn't get there,
they're not going. Those guys piss me off.
They power trip for no reason.
That was the worst interaction I've ever had.
I was
the worst interaction I've ever had with another person, I think.
Yeah, I would. Oh my god, I was so heated. I couldn't even believe it.
I know that time. I don't know. A little backstory. We were camping, same national forest, Pisgah, and this park ranger came up, and apparently we had come in so late and we were just trying to find somewhere to camp. The whole purpose of the trip was just to camp. We set up camp in right past the parking lot of this place, and the parking lot is up this super long crazy dirt road, and we're like, all right, we're in a camping kind of area, and we wake up and we're like, dang, everyone's packed up and gone. That's crazy.
Yeah, because there was people there.
Yeah, there was so many people camping. So we wake up in the morning, everyone's gone. We're like, huh, that's crazy. Everyone's gone except us.
Yeah.
And then the park ranger shows up and he's like, I'm Officer Keener and you are camping. And we're like, yeah, is there something wrong? And he's like, you can't camp here. We're like, what? What do you mean? And like, we're so confused. We're obviously super confused.
Yeah.
Like, we welcome him into our spot. We're like, what's going on? You can't camp here. We're like, what? What do you mean? Like, what? Like, we're in the woods in the national forest. Like, we can't camp? And he's like, this is a picnic area. We're like, what?
Oh, I'm getting heated just like hearing this.
And he said, and then we're like, okay, well, we'll leave. That's fine. We didn't know.
We'll
and
go to a
he's like,
camp spot.
So it's like how that interaction should have ended. He'd be like, all right. But instead, he like gets all mad again. And he's like, I'm either going to give all 4 of you tickets or I'm going to give 2 of you tickets. And you have to decide which 2 or I'm giving you all 4 tickets. And we're like, kind of like we're looking at our hands like, what is going on?
Yeah.
We have to do a social experiment now. Like, like he's playing with us now. It's like we have to put 2 of us up for trial. So Bubs and I just decided like you and your girlfriend at the time were minors, so we should get them, which is probably not how we should have done it. Thinking back, we probably should have given the minors the tickets. Probably would have just been like something you could just be like, the dude's literally 16 or however old you were.
Yeah.
Like he, what are you giving him a ticket for camping? And then he's like poking his head in our tents, which, by the way, illegal.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, by the way, that's illegal. And then you run over there, and we're all like, shit, what's Gus gonna do? And we see, I like kind of walked over behind you to see what you're gonna do, and because I didn't even really know you that well at the time, and you're like knocking on his truck door window, and he's like rolling it down. And you're like, what? I'm like hearing you like. I'm like, oh, Gus is gonna get us in more trouble for sure.
Dude, I was like so unbelievably mad. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? What are you doing? We told you exactly what we were doing. We told you we got in late. We didn't see the sign. Everyone was camping here.
There's a tiny sign that says no camping, and it's not lit.
No.
And the place is open 24/7.
Oh my
God. It was so stupid. We paid $160 in fines.
Oh my
for
God.
camping in a national forest.
I wanted to shoot him in the face.
Yeah. And we didn't have anything illegal.
No.
We were just camping.
We were just camping.
We didn't have any alcohol. We were 4 underage people, and we didn't bring any alcohol. We didn't even think about it. We just went camping. And he's looking for that because he wants to charge us with that. And he had to resort to charging us for camping in a designated picnic area.
Oh my God.
He wrote us tickets. And I'm like talking to him. I'm like, we're like good cop, bad cop. And I'm like, so work me through this. You give us this ticket, we pay it, what happens? Because I'm thinking like I'm going to have some criminal charge from the camping. And I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with that. So I'm like asking him. He's like, you pay it, it's gone. I'm like, and then he just like waits in his truck until we leave.
Yeah,
we're just like angrily and sad packing up. And like we don't get what's happening. We're just like, and we just leave. That was a horrible time.
That was. Oh my God, I'm getting like all the emotions are rushing back.
Which is why I was so excited that we crossed that treacherous tree and had like a secret spot to camp where the freaking officer Keener couldn't even get there if he wanted to.
No, we couldn't. And if he did, I would have pushed him off the cliff. Holy frick.
And nobody would know.
No. The bears would have got him.
Yeah.
Holy frick. That guy needs to go to jail for being a tyrant. I hate that guy. God, if there was one guy, no. Oh, God, I hate that guy. Dang, I'm starting to get heated. I remember when I got home, I tried to look for him on the internet.
Really?
Yeah. I might go back and try to do it. It feels fresh now. The wound is back open.
Because we were just back there.
Yeah. Totally forgot about that. There is no forgiveness for Keener.
Officer Keener. He's like, I'm Officer Keener.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm Tyler.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Tyrone.
I'm camping.
I'm Pablo.
Yeah. I'm camping in a national forest.
Yeah, like I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
How about that? Like we're having a good time. We're young. We're camping. And we just obviously, like so obviously didn't know we were doing anything wrong. And our infraction was ridiculous. We were camping in the wrong spot. And we were so confused when he showed up because we didn't even know anything was wrong. And it was like obvious we didn't know anything was wrong. And we were like, all right. And I was doing that thing. We were all doing that thing where it's like, you're being reasonable and respectful and working with them. You're like, all right, well, we'll just get out of here. We didn't know. And he just completely misses that energy and jumps right into the social game of,
do you want to play a game?
It was like that.
It's either 4 of you die or 2 of you die.
That's what it was like.
It's like, what? Who are you, dude? Who are you? Did you get divorced yesterday?
He must have.
Dang, man. Guy sucks. I hope he listens to this. I hope he's one of our listeners. You suck, dude. You suck. Lick my nuts, bro. Sorry.
This one tastes like pumpkins.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you want one?
Not yet.
It's called Jacko Pumpkin Ale.
Frick! I'm ticked. Oh my God, I'm ticked. My headset's coming off. I'm so ticked.
Yeah, but anyway, that was a crazy trip. And then we woke up in the morning. We went to the Rockies Hot Chicken Shack, which, by the way, is so good again. We already said how good that was, but it's so good.
So consistent.
It's the same thing every time.
Yeah. Then get the 3-piece basket, honey mild, mac and cheese poppers, zippy ranch, fries, honey mustard.
Yeah, and the honey mild sauce kind of has a kick.
Oh, it's got a kick. It's hot chicken.
Yeah.
They mean it. I've had the medium before, and it's like a little bit too hot. Great flavor.
The mild is freaking hot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the mild has me doing the like breathing through my teeth, like trying to because I like spicy food, but I don't have a good tolerance for it. So so for me, a good spicy meal barely has to be spicy for me to be like, this is great. This is really
Rockies
spicy.
So good. And that was so funny. We're sitting at Rockies, and Tyler and I ordered the exact same meal,
Yeah.
and the waitress brought it to us, and she's like, "Who had this?" And Tyler's like, "Oh, that was me." And I was like, "Oh, we got the same exact thing." and then and then you got your meal, and you're like, "Actually, that's his."
Yeah.
And she just looks at you with the most like disgust
She
face.
hated me.
Hated that. That was like the worst joke she's ever heard in her life.
She was so offended that I would even mention that to her. And I felt like I don't know, I couldn't tell, but it seemed like she was like mad that I was being like it was a funny joke and I chuckled and it was like super sarcastic. Like I was joking. I was like, "Oh, actually I think that one's for sure mine."
Yeah.
And then she was like she like rolled her eyes at me and stuff. Like, how do you not, even if you're a server, and like I get you probably deal with like crappy jokes at any serving job, but like even as a server, you should at least like just pretend.
In Asheville, that's why.
Asheville sucks.
The people there are just a little bit hoity-toity, a little bit like they're fake.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I was telling you in the headset. It's like the super liberal people who are about to go to college choose either in North Carolina, this is true, especially central North Carolina, where it's just pretty much normal landscape. There's 2 schools in North Carolina, UNCW and UNC, or freaking what's it
App
called?
State.
App State. And there's UNC Asheville.
Yeah,
So that's not the only 2 schools, but I'm saying there's schools at the beach and there's schools at
in the
mountains. And if you're like a super attractive, super like progressive, I won't even say liberal, I'll say like progressive, young, like hipstery kind of person. If you're really hot, you go to the beach.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you go to the mountains.
Yeah.
And those people in the mountains, first of all, way colder for like a lot of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a lot more angry already, and they're not that attractive. So they're just like angry progressive people, which is such a funny, like paradoxical way to be.
Yeah, they're just
Because they think they're so compassionate and nice, and then you make a joke and they stare at you like they want you to die.
Yeah, it's so crazy. What would be a joke that they would like?
Probably something like
they seem to get offended about pretty much every
they
joke.
get offended about everything, or it's like you have to make fun of something that's fun to make fun of, because there's certain things that you can just absolutely drag, like lifted trucks. You could make fun of lifted trucks and they would be like, "Oh, that's funny."
You think?
Yeah.
Be like, Paula called Shauna non-binary, but actually she's pansexual.
It's like,
So like stuff. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know what their humor is. It's like they don't. That thing is, they don't have humor.
It's like, I was looking all over for my vape and it was in my pocket.
I was gonna do my hair purple, but I did blue instead. They're all Squidward. Straight up, they're all Squidward. Whoa, what's this spider doing? Bop!
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, man, that's gonna get graphic. Let's see. Let me think of a way to say it that's not as graphic. I was going number 2 in the woods while we were camping. Number 2. So the brown one. And
the big brown.
I've got my pants down to my ankles. I go down I find like a less steep part of the mountain. I kind of go down it a bit. And so I'm like hanging off the mountain, holding onto a tree. And I see a spider on the ground, like kind of close to where my, like all of my...
Your system
is. And then he starts floating up towards my system. And I'm like, what? and he's floating closer and closer to my system, and then he's like an inch from my system, and I'm like, ah! And he's like he's getting so close, and I don't even know how he's doing it. He's like floating up in the air towards it.
he spun his little thing on you.
He's like a weird looking like brown translucent spider. I've never seen one before, and so I didn't even know if he was like good or not.
Flying at you.
He was flying towards my system while I was trying to number 2 in the woods.
He wanted to get in there.
The number 2 in the woods is a very strange thing. I've been doing it a lot lately for no reason.
I like it a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I remember what I used to do is I would sit on a log.
That's what I do.
Yeah?
I do the log. The hang off the log.
Hang off the log.
Yeah, you find a small log.
Yeah.
Small log, yep.
Yeah, the issue was of the hill. So I was on the hill and I found a log and I tried to sit on it and I was like falling off of it. And I was like, if I fall afterwards, I don't have enough clothes to put on new clothes and leave clothes in the woods.
That would be awesome, though.
I just ride home with like stains all over myself. I just stink so
Your
bad.
Your neck is just pooed out.
Oh, that would be so devastating. I would ride home probably I would take all my clothes off, leave them, and put my rain gear on and wear just my rain gear and ride home. I'm not doing it. I'm not spending an entire day pooed out.
That's how they used to do it in the old days, baby.
I guess so.
You poo out and you pooed out.
They also got dysentery and died.
That's true.
They died a lot.
They did die a lot.
They just die.
But we didn't die. We almost died, but we didn't die.
We almost died.
And boy, let me tell you what. In a couple weeks, I might have to go back out there because it's going to be fall.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to get, before we go, first of all, I need to get a windshield. That's like, I'm not doing that again.
Numero uno.
Second of all, I really think we need to trailer the bikes closer.
Yeah, or
even
or
just a little bit
see
closer.
What's going on in URE.
True, yeah, go closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then third of all, I looked at my tires today.
Yeah.
They took a beating on the highway.
Right. I did not.
My rear tire is worn a decent bit in a fine way. My front tire is worn wonky.
But your front tire was already old.
It was super old.
It had like cracks and crap in it.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's at TKC, so you keep that sucker
it's
on.
Expensive. Yeah, I'm leaving it on. It's worn weird. Like 3 lugs will be at an angle, and then there's another 3 lugs at an angle, and then there's another 3 lugs at an angle.
Huh.
I don't get it. But yeah, I've got to, and then I also need to get some camping gear. Because that's not fun. It's not fun not having anything. And like I've got a really nice tent. And that's it.
Yeah, that's...
And you don't need much more.
That's it.
You just need it.
Yeah.
Like you need the more. You can't just not have more. I found that out. You can. It's insufferable.
Yeah, you just need the necessities. You need your sleeping equipment, your tent,
and some eating and drinking equipment.
Eating and drinking and cooking is a must. That tiny little stove I got.
I love that stove.
It's the best
stove. I
stove.
want to get one of those suckers so bad.
The BRS camping stove. Let me tell you what. That thing has cooked some stuff.
Yeah.
Never fails.
No. I love how tiny that sucker is.
Yeah.
And all the gas fits into the pot, into the cooker, into the thing.
Everything fits together. Oh, it's so beautiful.
And then I was also thinking about, I was looking at bags, like saddle bags for the bikes.
Yeah.
Like little saddle bags that strap on. There's not that much room in them. They're kind of small. And then, which I think is probably fine. And then I want to take a duffel bag. I want to go to like TJ Maxx and get a really cheap duffel bag, and then get Bub's sewing equipment out and buy some nylon strapping and start strapping hooks all over it. Like sewing nylon straps with D-ring hooks all over it. So we can just hook it anywhere. Because that's all that these expensive bags are.
Yeah.
They're just regular duffel bags. Probably a little nicer, but some of them aren't. Some of them are just regular duffel bags with hooks all over them.
Yeah.
I can make that.
I decided I went to Home Depot today,
Yeah.
and Milwaukee's got their like, what is it, the pack out?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get like an off-brand pack out and just freaking put it on the back when I go on long trips, and I can fit everything in that thing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it one big box because I can do all my camping equipment, a bunch of food, and then if I need to mount the bag, I can do that too.
Yeah. As long as when you fall, it doesn't bust off. Because that would be bad.
That would be hilarious. That'll probably happen. Maybe not though.
No, I don't think it'll happen.
Shoot.
Yeah, that was a crazy weekend. And my shoulder, I've just felt somebody tap on my shoulder, but no one taps. It's just that muscle is like actually completely fried. It's not sore like you went to the gym sore. It's sore like
a nerve.
Like damage.
Nerve damage. Yeah. Yeah, and you complained the whole time. No, I'm not kidding.
It hurt.
You started
immediately.
You started talking about it at the freaking burger joint. No, Bojangles.
Which
And
was
that
only like 2 hours in.
2 hours into the ride.
So the entire ride, my shoulder was burning. And I was like, I knew we had a lot of riding in front of us, and I was like, maybe this is early for this to start hurting. Yeah. I was like, well, there's nothing really to do about it except just keep telling Gus.
keep complaining and it'll get better.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I would stop thinking about it for a while. Like I think the arm would like that nerve circuitry would shut off for a little while because it would start to just hurt too bad.
Yeah.
It would like go numb.
Yeah.
And that was so nice when it went numb.
Ah.
And then it would come searing back in. So good.
Yeah, the bikes need a little bit of work, and the riders need work.
Oh,
At least I need work. Controlling that thing in the woods is a handful.
I need so much practice.
It's like I was telling you, I was like, man, this front end feels so heavy going downhill.
It's so heavy.
It's so heavy. All like 300 pounds goes to the front wheel, and you've almost no stopping power in the woods. It's just like, I just need to practice, I guess.
Yeah, I need to get. I'm thinking setting up the suspension as much as you can is gonna be big. I'm gonna do that, and we'll see. Maybe it won't be big at all. Maybe it's like already perfectly set up for me. But
it doesn't stop us from driving off cliffs.
Oh, the driving off the cliff thing doesn't make any sense to me. I drove straight off a cliff.
Yeah, that's just fatigued riding, I think. We were just fatigued.
We were so fatigued.
And then in the morning when I drove off the cliff or like slipped off the cliff, it was just like I was stiff. Like we got on the bikes and we were like, oh, wow.
It felt weird.
Yeah.
Because I had a dream, all my weird dreams. One of them was that if we kept following the trail that the campsite was off of farther into the woods, it would loop back to the main road.
Which I didn't know this was a dream the first time you said it.
You thought it was like a thing?
Yeah. I don't think you said it was a dream. You were just like, I think the trail loops back to the road.
That was probably when I was still kind of groggy and I was still believing all my dreams.
And I was like, perfect. We don't have to go over that log again.
So we're just riding and it's starting to get more and more treacherous until it turns into like straight up rocks and crazy
huge roots or trees,
all these like gullies you had to get through.
There was one tree I was like, I can't get over that. You're like, momentum.
Yeah.
It's just like 20 miles an hour over this freaking tree.
I watched you get over it. It was freaking scary to watch.
It was scary to do. God, but then it would have been stuck.
Yeah, but
I knew going down that route because it was like you would go up over this route that was like 8 inches tall, and then it had a drop off.
Yeah, so on the way back up,
it was like a foot and a half. It was like a 20-inch. You had to freaking get over that, and you can't freaking pop those wheels up in the dirt. So everything just spins, especially with those tires.
It's so funny. It was so funny, and then we had to go back over the tree.
Yeah, I know. You had to go up the 20-inch part.
Yeah.
The 10-inch. The 15-inch. Everything. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was starting to get into like hard enduro.
Yeah, it was getting like
further down there. It was like
Yeah,
getting
like-
crazy.
pro rider level on
Yeah.
dirt bikes,
Yeah.
and we're on these dual sports that weigh
We're
100 pounds
We're
more,
on dual sports trying our best.
loaded up with more stuff, like camping equipment on them.
God.
After 11 hours of riding the past day, and I've probably slept a combined like 4 hours.
I'm still fatigued.
I slept 8 hours last night. Like I was pretty much out at 11 and up at 7, and it was not even close to catching me up.
As soon as we're done with this, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I'm doing a shower and then getting straight to bed because I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Today I didn't feel like a person today.
No,
My vision was weird and fuzzy and
Yeah, I went to work and I was like, I like sat down when I got to work, and then like just sat there for like 4 minutes, and nothing went through my brain. And I wasn't even thinking about anything. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't even looking at anything. I just like paused for 4 minutes.
yeah.
And then I like snapped out of it a little bit. I was like, oh, I'm at work. I gotta do some work.
Yeah, today was not the day at work to have a tough day, but we did. We got it done. Frick.
Well, I think that just about wraps up the story.
Does it? Thank you, Samuel Adams, for sponsoring this episode.
Samuel Adams. If you think you need some Samuel Adams
With Munch and Dunkel.
with Munch and Dunkel, it's probably because you do. Yeah, I'm freaking exhausted. Let's get this shit over with.
All the way. See, the pumpkin's a little bit lighter of a beer.
We're both going.
Whoa.
Follow us on Spotify and watch next week.